Hello everyone, hello my lovely people, whoever is listening to this wherever in the world. It took me some time, there is some time that passed between this episode and the last one. It was just really difficult to go on and record something, and I don't even know why. I mean, it's just about turning the phone off and sitting down and talking to you, that's all. And I always have things to talk about, and when I do my walks I always think about things to say, and those things, they are like stuck in my throat. They just want to go out, they just want to be talked about, spoken, shared. I always think of other people, what I would say to them if they go through the same things. And I know when I talk to people and listen to them, I can feel that I help them, and maybe if I don't help them, I stir something in them, I start a thought in them, and that's so nice to think about, that's so good to think. So if my podcasts are any consolation for you, or if they are food for thought for you, or just something that plays in the background and you are half listening to while you are doing other things, washing the dishes or doing ironing or walking, then that's great as well. And that's all I am wanting for those podcasts to be. And this podcast, I wanted to be about just how to be with fear, how to go through difficult times, what I do, what I'm trying to do when I am in fear, when I am frightened, when I am crying or sad, and everything that emotional things are happening around me that I have no control over. What's happening now around the world, what started to happen, is just unimaginable. I do feel as if I was in a bad dream. I felt like this in the beginning, as if I was in a bad dream. When you lie there in bed and you really want to open your eyes because you know it's a dream and you can't, and then I really wanted for this to be, I open my eyes and then it all disappears, and I can't. For the first couple of days when it started, I felt as if I was watching everything through the glass or a window. I felt very disassociated from everything that was happening around. I felt really scared, and I still can feel this fear lingering around, but I don't have it in me as much as I had it in the beginning. And this is actually something that I was thinking about today, that actually the more of those horrible pictures you see, the more it's talked about and shown, obviously on social media. I don't watch news, I have no capacity to take on the news at the moment, just because there would be such a big amount of those information that my brain and my body would not be able to take on. But so I got all my sort of information, I don't know if you can call it information or just yes, let's call it information, from Facebook and Instagram, which you have to be really discerning also and make sure that you feel into this information, that you see how you are reacting to this, and what with your heart, with your mind and with your body, because there's so much information out there. And the first thing to do is the lower vibration levels of feelings, like fear, but also hatred is really, really important. And I am not talking about anger, just because being angry is a basic level of then, and it's easier, the anger is easier to transform into power than hatred and fear. That's how I think about it. Being angry does not make you, I mean, depending on which direction you are going to go, but being angry does not make you a victim as much as hate and fear. All those emotions are valid. All those emotions and all those feelings are valid, and they exist because we exist in dualistic world. So all of them are within us, and we express them one way or another, and they would come. For us to really go on the other side, we need to feel it, be aware. As you know, awareness is really important for me. So being aware, observe those things and feel them going through your body, but then understand and know the meaning of it and how they emanate around. So hatred is not gonna help with anything, just opposite. Hatred is gonna make things worse. It's not something that we should work on it, but it's not something that is easily transferable into other feelings. That's how I see it. And hatred has got a very, very low vibration. When you act from hatred is not going to make a world a better place. The same we could say with fear and anger, but I think for me they are kind of easier to transform, and they if they are within me, I see them more as I can work with them more in my body. And it's not easy to talk about it because I didn't master it. I am still very divided, and I am going from being more peaceful to being afraid. But one thing that I don't really have at the moment, and I'm not saying that I would never have it, is this hatred. I don't, and I feel like the hate doesn't help. It does not help if you hate others. It never helped, and it's or was kind of trying to be explained in many religions. The first thing is to love, and hate is just the opposite of love. And it's so easy to hate. So with hate comes blaming others, putting everything on others and fighting against others. So this creates additional duality. And I can feel how this episode is just not easy, and it doesn't kind of flow through me, because the things that I am talking about, as I say, they are just within me, and I try to explain them to myself. So how do I do that? I try to meditate a lot. And for the last couple of weeks, my mind, when I am meditating, they just wouldn't shut up. They just go on and on and on, and not only about what's happening in the world, but they try to be busy around other things, like what I have to do for work and what are my plans are, or, you know, the worries that are coming in. My mind is just being very, very active and doesn't allow me, not as easy as it was before, to just sit down and have these longer moments of quietness when I can feel this how to describe it to you. You still can see your thoughts when you are meditating. It's not like it's a complete darkness or whiteness or light. And this is my personal experience. So the thoughts are kind of there. They just flow, and you look at them, but you don't engage in them. And that's what a lot of people say, and that happens in meditations. You cannot completely close off your thoughts. You can go off and kind of forget for a moment, and these are very blissful moments. You are somewhere, if you are visualizing something, or if you are concentrating on your breath, and that's everything that there is. For me, there's always kind of this awareness that the thoughts are there, but this is as if you were looking at the river that just goes so quickly and abruptly, and it's like really busy, and there are water whirled, and there are big waves or something, and then splashing on you, and you are kind of involved in it. To when your mind quiets down, is like a very slow and peaceful river, or maybe a stream of light or something just going by you, and it's still there. It doesn't disappear, but you are aside of it, you are not in it. And that has been really difficult, because whenever I sit down for meditation to meditate, I still can feel that the thoughts are there, and I cannot really put them on the side and not be involved in them, that they're coming to my head and trying to kind of put things in order. So I just think about what to do at work, and those not consciously. I don't want to. I think now when I am talking about this, this is just a way for my mind to kind of trying to be more safe and try to control things, and by this staying sane as well. So that's one of the first things. It's not easy. It's not easy, but you do feel better after that. I promise you. If you sit down, turn everything off in your home, everything that is disturbing you, everything that you disturbing yourself with, whatever it is, work, phone, social media, TV, radio, anything like that. If you sit down with your thoughts, it's scary, because in the beginning, everything will come to you that you didn't want to think about, and that the silence also. So if you start doing this more and more, it's you're gonna feel better after that. Then you find yourself in the day while doing. That's how it affected me. While I am doing things or interacting with people, and within difficult situation, within the moments of silence when you would maybe panic, it's so easy to tap back to those moments when you were sitting down in silence. It just automatically kind of comes back to those moments, and instantly you feel calmer. It doesn't mean that the situation gets resolved maybe easier or anything like that. You in yourself is so difficult to describe. You in yourself, or your body remembers, or your mind or your soul remembers how to go back to those moments, and goes back to those moments automatically. That's what I have noticed while sitting at meditation, and then going around doing my things, and interacting at work, or doing other things with family. This is just something that I am realizing just now when I am talking to you, and what I have observed. And I have been meditating not even a year, maybe 9 months or so. So definitely I know that I cannot stop meditating now. This is just like brushing your teeth. The best time for meditation is for me is morning, just when you wake up. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult to sometimes it's really difficult to kind of get it into between. You get up and you need to go to the bathroom and you need to feed the cats, for example, because you really would like to make sure that there is no distractions. But that's fine, I'm sure you can sort it out. It's easier in the evening because then everything is done and you kind of you know, brushed your teeth and you are in bed, so it's easier then. And then for me, and then sometimes takes longer, and I just sit and I don't measure my time. I mean, I will look at the phone before I start my meditation, and then sometimes when I finish I look at the phone as well and just see how long it took me. And usually it takes me 10-15 minutes, sometimes in the evening, and like weekends I'd sit in meditation in the evening for 20 minutes. In the morning I have no time to do it for 20 minutes. So in times, and now because of everything that's happening, the first time, it's, you know, the first day it started, it was difficult for me to go and sit down in meditation because I was just scared as well of what kind of thoughts are gonna come to me, that I'm gonna be faced with my fear, just sitting there and quote unquote doing nothing about it. But meditation, the act of sitting with your thoughts, is doing something. This is making sure that your well-being, your mind, and you are your own friend, and you know how to sit with yourself, how to sit with your fear, with your anger, with your hatred, with anything, and observe that. So, and this makes it, I don't want to say makes it easier, it's kind of, it's never easy, but this makes it better to go through, to digest, to then deal with in the day that comes, in conflict that may come, in conflicts within you, with the world, with other people. I don't know why meditation is not taught at school. It should be, it really should be. So I really recommend it for the anxiety, for the fears, and everything that's happening in this world. And it's not easy, but you will really feel better. And I can also say that this is compared to something like gym session or yoga session. You don't really always feel like doing it, but when you do it, you feel better. And it's the same with meditation, exactly the same. And the feeling better might not come instantly, just so after the meditation, but during the day, the more you do it, the more you see changes, I'd say. Very subtle changes. And like I said, you're not going to become like a Zen master and come to everything with indifferent mind and always react very calmly. And believe me, I don't. Sometimes I do feel like I'm doing all this meditation and I still get very, very angry. But you will feel those subtle differences of how you react, how you talk to people, what's happening in your mind. Amazing meditation, another form of meditation also is walking. And I know I've spoken about it in my other podcast episodes, but this is just very important. And if you listen to this a couple of times, it took me a long time to start doing this, and I am glad that I am doing this. So, and in these times, what's happening now, I feel like all my spiritual practice is being taken into probation. So everything is like I am exercising my spiritual practice. I cannot really compare, or I don't know how I would react to all of this and how I would be if I didn't have the spiritual practice with me, and if I didn't go onto the spiritual pathway 2 years ago. And I am so grateful I did, and I am so grateful that I got connected with so many spiritual personas, people who are on their own way, and I can just observe them and take whatever they're talking about, take whatever I feel is the best for me, whatever I feel is helping me the most. And that's what I would really like you to take from this podcast. I listen to a lot of people, and I listen to astrologers, I listen to people who channel, and the messages I am taking on are obviously the positive one, because you have to listen to positive content. To me, the most positive message is that it's all about ourselves, that peace starts within ourselves. And the other positive message that I would like to let you know is that the more of us there is, the more of us is thinking this way, the more this consciousness spreads around the world. The stronger we are, the more people spreads love, and the less hatred it is within us. The world really feels that, and you can look into like things like a global meditation, when a lot of people did meditate at the same time. So they were raising their consciousness, they were raising this feeling of love. And there is something that is called Schumann resonance. Schumann resonance, and this is a resonance of the globe. And they have detected that this Schumann resonance, when a lot of people is meditating, it goes up, so it rises. So it's the same thing that there was about, talking or telling the water. There was this experiment telling the water really good things about love, about all the positive thoughts, and then this water, when it got frozen, it formed really beautiful shapes. And then the other part of water, it was told the words of hatred, and the water, when it frozen, was like really dark, or really kind of just not looking great. So it's kind of this transformation of energy, and it could be thought energy, it could be words energy, anything that you have within you. So that's the two very positive things, that the change really starts with us. So now you can understand that holding those feelings of hatred, of anger, even though they are totally valid, and we are not going to eliminate those from our life, and we kind of we will be feeling those feelings, but making sure that we are not those feelings, that we understand that we are not those feelings, we are not hatred, we are not anger. So this is the first thing. And the more of us feels this way, the more of us holds this energy, the better it is for the world. So that's how I like to feel, that's how I am helping the world. And how it transfers physically, for example, very simple things. When I go outside, when I look at people and I smile to them, when I say hello to my neighbor, I can feel that they feel warm energy. I don't know how to explain it differently. That when I walk around and I interact with the cashier in the shop, that they feel this warm energy, and I can feel it from those people either. So it's like a light, it bounces off. Please try that. The light that you emit bounces off people. And I've seen it many times, that someone maybe looked a little bit grumpy, or maybe it was my bias, and I smiled to them, and I, just made this eye contact, and they kind of melted a little bit. They warmed up. And I'm sure you have your own experiences with that. The more of us there is like this, and I am not a very extroverted person, so I wouldn't kind of go and lit up the room. I don't think so. I'd rather probably hit somewhere, and I like one-to-one connection. So if I go somewhere, sorry about those noises, I won't be able to edit them out. It's just my work emails. So if I go onto the group and interact with people, I like to find one-to-one or two-to-one, you know, connection. So it's different for everyone. For me, I like to think that I by being open, by trying to be a light for myself, I'm gonna be a light for other people. And I'm still scared. I'm still scared, and I still fight my own ego, my own duality, and I am aware of that, and I've always been. So I don't necessarily always think about myself as a good person. I sometimes think about myself as I am pretending a lot, that I really just think about my own good. And this war, I didn't really want to say this word, but that's how it came out. So this conflict, that's what's happening in the world, brought it in me as well, that I started to look at my own duality and my own egoism. So obviously thoughts like, you know, I am happy that it's that I am safe, and then so thoughts like this. But then again, I was listening to someone this morning, and this lady was talking exactly about that there is duality in the world. That's always going to be duality in the world, and where this duality starts and where you can observe it the most is in you. So when we start and go out and blame people, this is coming from us. This is how we are seeing words. So we need to be very careful about this. And I know that it's probably so easy to say that from my perspective, from perspective of people who are not in this kind of directly in this. So I think that's gonna be all for today. I hope that I helped you a little bit with those things that I am trying to do, and I am far from far from not being mentally affected by this, and I'm trying my ways, and that for me is taking care of my mental health. Yes, I am quite fragile with everything that's happening. So thank you so much for connecting. If you like this episode, please like this episode. Please give it thumbs up or share or subscribe. I don't know how much I can do, but the more of us there is, and the more of us share this message and spread this message, the better for the world vibration, the better for everyone. And I as well, from my very egoistic point of view, I would like to make this change as well. So if I inspire you, even 1%, even 0.005%, to do something and to help you work on those things, then I am very happy about that. So I talk to you next time. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye. Bye.